day and a very warm welcome to One Hub Racing Season 23, round number 1 here at one of our new tracks on this game. We're here at Qatar for the Qatar Grand Prix. Apologies for the slight delay. We had issues getting to the lobby, but we're in the lobby now and we are about to get going with 19 drivers taking the track for the top tier of One Hub Racing. My name is Jess Ball, one of your commentators throughout this season, and joining me in the commentary box, I'm delighted to say, to my right-hand side, we've got Steve. Steve, welcome to One Hub Racing. How are you doing?
Oh, very good, Jess. Well, thank you. Lovely to be here, and how are you?
Absolutely sweating after my One Hub race earlier on tonight, but we're good. We're good. We're in for a 12-race season of madness, not gonna lie. And we have had some great pre-season races to get us entertained. But for now, we have got, looking through our calendar, obviously we're starting with Qatar tonight on the 6th of August. Then we head to Imola next week. That will be our first sprint race. And then we got Hungary around number 3. Then we got Brazil, Japan, Las Vegas, Portugal, Belgium, Spain, Singapore, Britain. And then we finally end on the United States of America for round number 12, and that will be the final sprint race. Pat's calendar, loads of sprint races, mandatory 2-stop strategy, new game. I think this could be a good one, don't you think, Steve?
Yeah, I reckon this could be maybe one of the best seasons in the history of this league. I mean, the sprints, they just add a whole nother factor, especially with the engine wear being introduced and everything. So it's going to be a very entertaining season. I mean, Qatar and Vegas, both new tracks. No one really has any experience on them, so it means it's a whole even playing field. It's just who can adapt to the new circuits the best. And I mean, you still have the likes of the classics like Britain, Japan, Brazil. It's going to be an amazing season.
Yeah, I think my favourite one out of that has got to be, obviously, Spain with the removal of the final chicane. Of course, we've got Belgium. It's an iconic track. Who doesn't like Belgium? And, of course, the new track of Las Vegas, which does plague a few drivers, not going to lie. But let's look at our driver lineup before we head to qualifying. We have got Casper and Car Mentalist in the Red Bull. Casper being promoted from a few tiers above. Car Mentalist, last being an ACC driver, raced in this league. Now going into F1 racing. We'll see what he can do. Then we got Lukey and Waitsy in the Ferrari. Very strong pair in there. We got one of the owners as well with Lukey, Nick and Colin in the Mercedes. Jay Cole and Larkin, last season's Constructors Champions, teaming up again. And we got Fatality and Faust in the McLaren. Canard and Posh Evans, I think the drivers to look out for here today. And we got Delta Hunter and Axelot in the Aston Martin. Two new drivers of Nicolo and Bumpe, I can't even pronounce it, in the Haas. Timo and Matt in the AlphaTauri. And then finally, Konzo and Brendan in the Williams. So one person's not here tonight, which is Timo. He can't make it, but we got 19 drivers. Obviously, you don't know many of these drivers, but looking at this grid, is there anyone that stands out based on like pre-season and earlier pace?
Yeah, as you said, I don't really know these drivers too well. I only actually, I think, know one, and that's Delta Hunter. So he's probably one I'm looking out for so far this season. But I think both Alfa Romeos are probably good contenders for this championship. I mean, they look like they have quick pace, and yeah, it will be certainly something to look out for and a new learning curve for me to see what these drivers can do.
So here we go then for qualifying then for the Qatar Grand Prix. 18-minute qualifying session awaits the drivers, and that will decide the grid for the main race. First used in Formula 1 back in 2021. Track is 5.418 kilometres, 3.36 miles in length, with a main straight of 1 kilometre, which is quite a lot. It started using in MotoGP around about 2007. It was a night race back in 2008. The World Superbikes came here as well, and then due to COVID, Qatar came in 2021. Tyres was a massive factor there with loads of punches. I think we could see exactly the same today. And obviously Qatar is making its return in 2023. So here are the timings you can see at the moment on your screen with Posh Evans, a driver who I said to look out for in today's race, on pole with a 1:20.8. So already beating the times of the P2 tier that's just finished. after us currently as well. And then we got Nick in second with a 121.0, and Max has just came across the line in P3 with Brendan in P4. So quite close at the moment for these drivers. This is quite a technical circuit, very, very demanding, very bumpy and off-camber circuit as well, especially around turn 6. It's not really designed for F1 racing, so that's going to make things difficult for them.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's only one real overtaking opportunity around here, and that's going into turn 1, so not many overtaking opportunities for the drivers. Only one DRS straight, obviously, and it's quite a long one, so expect to see a lot of the strategy being based around who goes into turn 1 in second place on the final lap. And that will be the real person who comes out on top in this one, because the DRS zone has it's like the finish line's directly in the middle of the DRS zone, so even if you're behind on the final lap, you get a good run out of that final corner, you could still certainly get the position or even win the race. So this track, very technical, very demanding. I mean, the middle sector, it's so twisty and tight, it's so easy to invalidate, and it's certainly an amazing track to drive.
I just had a race here, like I was saying earlier, and it just feels so lovely. But the drivers have got to be wary about the fuel. We saw 1 or 2 drivers in the P3 tier, the one I raced in, ran out of fuel. I didn't see what P2 was like, because obviously we were preparing for this. So that's what the drivers have got to be wary of, that they have to put quite a lot of fuel. They even have to put in extra fuel. Bearing in mind, safety cars on reduce, so they may not even expect a safety car. I don't think there was any safety cars at all in the lower 2 tiers tonight. So I think they just got to rely on people not making too much mistakes. We're riding on board with Colin then, teaming up with Nick in the Mercedes this season. He loves this track, and he's just very interested to see how the racing goes, and he invalidates. He's probably going to go out again very, very soon. And he feels like not pushing is really key tonight, and who will be winning tonight will probably be the person that gets the most penalties. And I have to say, I agree. One thing I forgot to mention, Steve, is it's a track limit central track. I think more than like the likes of Canada and stuff like that, if you do avoid getting loads of penalties, then you could be in for a very good result here today. And there's certain drivers to obviously keep an eye on, but I think penalties, tyres and fuel, definitely the major factor today.
Yeah, I mean, this track, it's so easy just understeer off and then pick up a warning, and then if you keep doing that, you'll get penalties. So, yeah, this track, very easy to do that. And also, fuel, it's that much of an issue. Even the AI run out of fuel around this track. That's how full throttle you are and how fast you are around this circuit. You don't really save any fuel at all. So yeah, it's going to be a massive challenge for the drivers. Whoever puts in more might be safe coming near the end, but they will be a bit slower because more fuel in the car, less speed, more weight. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a balance for the drivers. Also the tyres as well, 2-stop mandatory. It means drivers can push that bit more, but still have to be lenient on their tyres so they can last throughout the stint. But I would say the tyres aren't really the driver's biggest concerns. It's mainly just the fuel and also the track limits, where that it can easily be won or lost if you just go wide an extra time than your opponent and they win the race on penalties.
Yeah, it wasn't much of an issue in P3. Oh, as Waitsy invalidated in the penultimate corner. You see, we were talking about invalidations and someone goes and invalidates themselves. So, yeah, very interesting indeed. So, we've got a few people that were answering in the pre-race interviews about how they were feeling about the season. J. Cole said he doesn't know, but he's ready to race, see how he gets on. Kanams is saying he's ready to prove to himself that a rookie can be competitive, and he's already looking quite quick already. Not as quickly as we would expect, but kind of sitting himself in the top 10. The feeling is good for Nicolas Soro, who won last season's pre-season race, so something to be to expect as well. And yeah, there are a lot of people that are really looking forward to the season ahead. And I think Condor, I believe, was on holiday a few days ago, and now he's back ready to race as well under the lights to start the season. I'm trying to see if I can go on board with someone to go on a lap. Let's go on board with Vitality for the start of the lap. Fastest part of the track coming up here in the approach to turn 1. It'll be even quicker if you have DRS. So you'll be simultaneously turning in at around about 5th or 4th gear here. 5th gear if you're lucky as well as you head towards turn 2 and 3. You need to maintain speed all the way down into turn 4 because turn 3 is absolutely flat around here. And as Lando Norris says, you're going up and down, side to side like a roller coaster sometimes because rhythm is most certainly a dancer. Passed through the first sector. Fatality looking quite good compared to his rivals so far. And you're going to be passing turn 7. It's very easy to run right through here as well, as I found out in my race earlier on as well. And you're going to be flicking it through the apex there. Fatality takes it very nicely indeed. And heading towards the long back straight where you gain all the power. Now this is the part of the track where I really do like the triple right-hander. Take it all flat out, turn into the right here, aim to the right here, and then you've got to be careful when you turn in here, as I've noticed. It's really hard sometimes just to get it absolutely right. So as long as you get the turn in, that's fine. Past the pit lane entry. Hopefully people have practiced that this evening. Fatality goes towards the final corner then, where we saw Fernando Alonso take his first podium in a long time in Formula 1 here around this track, but Fatality comes up to the line. P7, not a bad lap, but still not quite on the pace as our current pole sitter, Posh Evans.
Yeah, not too bad of a lap there by Fatality. I mean, drivers will still be going round. The track's just getting quicker and quicker, so I think Fatality's done his lap at the wrong time as Nick goes up to P provisional pole, sorry, he's 120.818, and Posh Evans, he's actually up by nearly a tenth, as he now heads through the triple right-hander 7th gear, now into the penultimate corner, does a little lift down to 6th, easy to invalidate, there's a Red Bull in the way, just avoids him, though does Posh Evans as he now heads through the final corner, down to 4th gear, hard traction zone to really get right, very easy to drop the rear, as he now heads to the line. Will Posh Evans be able to reclaim provisional pole? He has a 1 minute 20.768 for the Alfa Romeo.
That was a great lap time from Posh Evans. We'll see if anyone else is going to be improving on their lap times as J. Cole, last season's Drivers' Champion, is going through the first sector. He's purple sector 1 on my screen, which strongly suggests he's purple out of the drivers around him, so we'll keep an eye on him. We got one of the McLarens about to cross the line. That is Faust, who's going to finish his lap. He's going to be the first person to cross the checkered flag, as well as Colin, as Faust comes across the line into P6. We've got an AlphaTauri coming across the line. I believe that is Matt, but he is invalidated. Then we got one of the Red Bulls. That was, I think, Carmentalis, who's going to come up to the line, who is an ACC veteran at One Hub Racing, a 3-time champion, crosses the line into P5. And we got Fatality coming into the pits. What about Nick? Nick comes into the pits. We got a Ferrari out. That is Watesy, who's currently sitting in P17. Can he slot his way up the order? He's only in P12, so a lot to improve for the Ferrari boys. Delta Hunter coating in P18. Jaco slots out of nowhere into P1 and 120.744. The driver's champion from last season, definitely showing us what he is made of here. Delta Hunter comes 17th. Brendan then, final corner he goes. Can he get pole? This is looking good. Only in 5th spot, and Posh Evans goes into the pit. So Jaco in the Alpine has got a point to prove. He said it's going to be difficult because it's a high caliber grid. He slots himself into P1.
Brilliant lap time there. Posh Evans looked to be certain for pole position, and then J. Cole, brilliant lap time there to deny the Alfa Romeo from pole position. And I mean, he was on the limit throughout that whole entire lap. It looked like he was just on the limit, and it was very well deserved. There, he's proved his point and shown why he's here. So we're in for a brilliant race. I mean, the top two only separated by about 14 thousandths of a about 24 thousandths of a second. Sorry. So we're in for a very, very close race, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just start to see a DRS train till the final few laps, because that's the nature of this circuit. There's only one overtaking zone, and you sort of want to do it on the final lap. And look, not even a tenth separates the top three, so we are in for a very, very exciting Grand Prix.
So let's have a run through your order then. J. Cole starts on pole position with Posh Evans joining him on the front row. Nick starts in third with Matt in fourth and ERT 3-4 there. Brendan and Carmentalist 5th and 6th. Then we got Nicolo and Faust on row 4. Casper Canard row 5. Fatality and Waitsy row 6. Lukey and Colin row 7. Axelot and Larking row 8. Delves Hunter and Konzo row 9, and Boom is right on its own in 19th position. So we're about to get underway for the racing, and Nick was called to the drivers' press conference saying that he's been away for a while. Did he find himself missing the wheel-to-wheel action, and what is his aim for the season ahead? He missed it, and his racing style was just collecting dust, and he can't wait to get racing again. Aim of the season is to not spin out during the race and deliver the laps he knows he can in quali, and it was a good lap in a D. But let's have a quick run through our sponsors quickly before we head into the race, as I try and find the sponsors, but I can't seem to find it, as we got one of our sponsors, Next Level Racing, who are providing prizes to the drivers' champion of each tier. Will be in the running to win a GT Elite, a light cockpit, and an Elite ES1 sim racing seat. And then we got second and third place prizes as well. They get a GT Elite Light or an ERS2 seat. And then all drivers are in the running for an NLR wheel stand 2.0. Also, our sponsors Atatech, where a pair of Invicta Sim Racing boots will be awarded to the driver that wins, that has the shortest combined quali time at One Hub. Then also Pure Sim Gear, they'll be winning a pair of sim racing gloves or socks to the drivers with the most fastest laps and poles combined. And then we got Mystery Sim Box, one of our sponsors as well. They'll be providing a mystery shirt box to the winner of One Hub Racing driver rankings, which is pretty cool. Our partners Vespertine, who are providing merch to us at One Hub Racing, you can check out on their website, as the lights are about to go on. I'll go through all the other sponsors in a minute, and we are underway, and Posh Evans gets a really good start off the line, but J. Cole has a good getaway in towards turn number 1. We've got one of the McLarens trying to get through around the outside in towards the second corner, but J. Cole still leads. Oh, we got some contact in the background, a few spinners, as well as the Aston Martin and the Ferrari get collected there, unfortunately. So they've had some issues, but J. Cole leading away, Posh Evans second, Nick in third, Matt's just about holding on in fourth with Brendan in fifth, but great start from our pole sitter. This is definitely what he needed.
Yeah, 100%. That's really how you just start the race. It's what you need going into turn 1 here at Qatar. If you're leading, you've got the whole middle sector and pretty much the final sector to pull away. Faust has been forced wide. He's had to drop quite a few places there in the McLaren. I think he's actually got a bit of front wing damage, letting all these cars go. I mean, you can see the strategy differences as well. A lot of drivers on the mediums, one car on the hards, and that's Max, and then you got Axe, Lukey, and Colin all on the hards. So Faust, I think, does have a bit of front wing damage. Yes, missing front left end plate, and that has really affected his race. The 2-stop strategy, I mean, he's getting one pit stop out the way already, but I don't think he will be back in this one with how long the stop will be. Posh Evans now about half a second behind J. Cole. Will he be able to get close enough heading down the straight? I will not think so heading into turn 1. He's just going to have to wait for DRS as Unarmed gets past Casper there for P8.
Yeah, I think Canard is in a Red Bull sandwich currently as well. Both the Red Bulls doing a fantastic job so far. Let's look at positions gain actually from the drivers, as I almost got the gap to leader there, which wasn't ideal. But massive shout out, by the way, to Boom, who's gained 5 places off the start, and Lukey, who's gained 4. Whitey did gain a few, but he did drop down, so he must have caught out in the carnage, as one of the Red Bulls has gone off. That, I believe, was Casper, who lost a bit of ground, but I think both the Red Bulls trying to fight back from Lukey in the background, heading towards the end of the second sector. Very twisty nature, some off-camber corners, which can catch a lot of drivers out here, so these drivers have got to match that. I'm really not surprised to see most people on the mediums. Softs is a bit of a gamble because softs only tend to last optimally 3 laps, but I have seen in P3 people last it a bit longer, mainly due to the fact that they can better manage their tyres. So it's all about tyre management and ERS management here as they're about to start lap 3. DRS will be activated, and as we were talking about track limits earlier, we have our first 3-second time penalty from Ratey, but we got a battle for the lead. Here comes Posh Evans as he goes for the run in towards turn number 1. Easy does it without even DRS, and he gets the fastest lap to boot as well. Beautiful stuff. He's in the lead in that Alfa Romeo. The top two are just running away with it at the moment. Nick's doing a great job in third, but he's kind of like the trolley train as he's been chased down by Matt, Brendan and Nicolo for third, fourth, fifth and sixth place. It's some great stuff so far. We can't keep up as we can see Colin going around the outside of Casper then, heading in towards turn 5. Can he hold his line through there? I think we could see Casper trying to get the switch back there as he's under pressure from fatality as well, but Colin just about to hold himself in into P10, but he's got to make the move soon. The softs won't last long.
No, he really has to start utilising the tyre and making his way up the order. I mean, Luke, he's actually dropped out of DRS. Now he's back in of command. They really need to get a move on. Lukey needs to be within DRS here, or the soft tyre advantage is pretty much gone, and they're dead and buried pretty much, as Nick starting to fall off of J. Cole, who's all over the back of Posh Evans in front of him. This will be a DRS move, you would think, heading down the main straight. Lap 3 of 29, of course, 2-stop strategies in this league. So, I mean, it's all to play for still. Strategy is going to be a massive factor in this race. Here comes J. Cole and Posh Evans, gets the move done without any question, really, just gets it done without any worries at all, as Matt is really racy behind Nick, and it looks like Nick really struggling for pace here on his mediums. Matt's hards not doing too badly at the moment. He's got decent pace for now, but we're just gonna have to wait and see if that will keep up. But with the way the medium tyres are going, they will probably fall off a lot quicker than the hards. But to be fair, hards for a 2-stop strategy, it's an odd one, to be fair, but we'll just have to wait and see what will happen.
It does depend on whether people have a preference for the hards or the medium compounder tyres. And when I was doing practice earlier, the hards felt great, but when it came to the race, for some reason, it's a bit of a struggle. So they've got to find a good reason to really go on these hards. I think we could see medium, soft, I think, as preferred strategy, or even medium, soft, medium, I don't know, just to get their softs out of the way, or maybe they just want to go on the hards for a little bit and then go on mediums to the end. It's really about personal preference as they negotiate these 16 corners around this circuit, and we could see some more moves being made in the background as Kanam has found a few temps heading towards the final corner. It's called the final fling because there's a lot of loading on these tyres as they head towards turn number 1, as we could see some moves in the background as Jaco has been passed by Posh Evans and takes the lead, and Brendan out of nowhere has passed Matt and Nick, but Nick's going to try it back on the right hand side and heading towards turn 3 and 4, and Nick defends for his life, and he was under pressure from Brendan and Matt, and he was like, no thank you, you're not getting past. That was beautiful defensive moves from Nick there, and he's in still for a podium position for today's P1 tier. That is superb stuff, I have to say. Brendan, brilliant stuff, but he's now under pressure from Matt in front now. You can start to see the hards coming into its operating window. What I've noticed, it does take a while at the start of the race for the hards to get into the operating window, which is why I'm a bit confused as why Matt started on the hards, but around about 5 laps in, they're at a great window. So for him to be in 5th place, even after being on those hards for so long, it's still quite incredible. But they got some medium runners right behind him.
Yeah, that is a really good start to the race actually for Mats on the hards. I mean, the medium tyres are quite a bit quicker at the start of the race compared to those hard compound tyres. So he's done a really good start to this race to just keep it up at the top 5 and just keep with the likes of Nick and Dom. So really nicely done there. Is actually to the inside goes Brandon, in the Williams, gets the move done nicely on Nick that time around, as J. Cole and Posh Evans are having a little bit of a scrap as they head through turn 1 and 2, but J. Cole just gets that done with actually just before turn 2, and Posh Evans has to sit behind one more time. and we'll have to wait and see if Posh Evans can fight back next time around. He probably will with the DRS, as their ERS actually is very, very similar, both around 65%, so they will be absolutely running away with things up in front unless Brandon can catch up with that 1.1 second deficit, which he can if these two start scrapping ahead.
Yes, indeed. Nap 9-10. Potentially the tyres on the means will start to drop off a little bit as Brendan has caught up and is within that DRS train. That's good news for the likes of Nick and Matt, who are all in this big train all the way down to P8 car. Mentalist is the last driver who is in that train. So that's going to get very twisty at this moment in time as they head towards past the final part of the triple right-hander as well. You can go and lift a little bit, but you will need to brake ever so slightly. You can't take it flat out through here, as I found that earlier on as well. So let's see if Posh Evans could go for another lunge. I think it's going to be a you go past, no, you go past. And I think Posh Evans is going to be like, no, I'm going past right now. But we'll see if J. Cole tries to fight back. It doesn't look like he fights back at the moment. So Posh Evans is in the lead. I think it's going to be a switch for quite a while yet. So it will come down to undercut versus overcut. We've seen undercut is a lot powerful around Qatar in terms of the pit lane loss time. So we'll see if that happens here as well. Make sure you leave us a like on this video if you are watching it back on YouTube. If you're watching it on Twitch, make sure you give us a follow as well. And we stream every Friday, and next week will be P2 streaming on Twitch. The others will be on YouTube as we alternate each week. And also make sure you check out our partners that I didn't mention last time, our ERT, who sponsor our league racing trophies and partner the ERT go against tough awards. And the main option there is they have to attend all races, finish outside top 3 and complete all their interviews, which is pre and post race as well. And also to our partners SimGrid, who provide all the standings and provide a great community for people to sign up to there as well. So those are a little bit of our partners that we didn't get to mention before the race got up to a very quick start. So we didn't know about the time of that, as we're about to start lap 8 of 29. Here comes, I think, round number 6 or 7 for Jacob. We got our first pitter as Nicolo has gone into the pits 3 laps earlier than I was expecting. And we're also seeing Jacob not getting close enough to Posh Evans. So I think Posh Evans has found his rhythm a little bit. But Nicolo already has come in. I'm a bit shocked by that.
Yeah, I would say it's a bit of an early pit stop there for Nicolo, and I mean, he's got onto the mediums again, so he's obviously doing the medium soft, you would think, at this stage of the race. And I mean, very, very early, I think he's just going to go for the undercut. Yes, his tyres will be worse at the end of the next stint, but then there's a stint after that for him to maybe make up a bit more of the deficit near the end of the race. But I mean, J. Cole really starting to drop off Posh Evans here. Posh Evans really has started to find his rhythm in this race. Maybe as the tyres drop off, he finds more confidence in the tyres somehow, and J. Cole is not really having the greatest middle sectors there. 9/10 down on his personal best at the moment. So yeah, J. Cole not really being too happy with the tyre at the moment, you'd think, because Brandon's now catched up in the Williams. I mean, Brandon's got pretty much no ERS left in this one. This is where you would expect Matt to start climbing up the order, getting closer to the likes of Nick, Brandon, J. Cole. Oh, I say that Nick has a huge slide. He spins round on the exit of the final corner, and Nick is going to be falling down the order now, maybe even outside the top 10 at this rate, as he now falls down to 11th, as that is actually Canarms coming into the pit lane here for Alfa Romeo. So the first Alfa Romeo to stop is the second driver, is Casper down the inside of Boompai, and I think he's got that one done. But Boompai trying to fight back into turn 2, but Casper cuts him off. And that is now 5th and 6th for Red Bull in this one, as Matt now can look forward onto Brandon.
That is a shame for Nick. It may be down to the potential tyre temperatures from Nick. Maybe he's not getting into the groove potentially. Sometimes you can lose it through there as well if you carry a lot of speed in the triple right-hander, because you're going nearly full pelt, and even one small lapse of concentration could cost you ever so slightly. So that is a shame for Nick, but he's still got a long way to go. We're only on lap 9 and 29. We still could get safety cars, and he's still in the top 10, but he needs to chase down quite a lot of people to get back where he is as well, and fuel may come into effect too. There may be people that may not realise that they need to put extra fuel, so we've got to bear that in mind. No VSCs so far, all safety cars so far. We've had Posh Evans who comes in into the pit, so they didn't want a double stack, it looks like, so that promotes J. Cole to the race lead. But look at how Brendan is catching up to J. Cole at the moment. J. Cole's tyres is not good currently, which is good news for Brendan and Matt, who's trying to close in. And those three are definitely flying the flag so far in terms of if Posh Evans doesn't come out in the lead, it will be those three. But he comes out, we'll keep an eye on his teammate. Heading towards the final corner, he's under pressure from Colin behind and the Ferrari. So Ferrari versus Mercedes power versus Ferrari power. I wonder who's going to come out on top of this one. Posh Evans just about gets ahead of Nicolo Soro. So the overcut on Nicolo Soro did help. Obviously, he had the better pace anyway, heading through towards turn 3. So surely J. Carr, Brendan and Max have got to come in this lap, because otherwise they're going to lose so much time.
Yeah, I would expect Brendan and J. Cole to react to that. That is the main thing that you would get from this, is that you need to react instantly when it's the car in front of you pitting first. So them two will surely come in. Matt, he might stay out for 1 or 2 more just because he is on the hard tyres. It's probably in its prime window at the moment, so it's at its best. So I would expect him to stay out for 1 or 2 more, but the lead 2 are coming into the pit lane, so they have reacted to Posh Evans' pit stop. And I mean, Nicolo got a very, very good undercut there, and he boxed a good 3 or 4 laps before Posh Evans. So he has really done an amazing undercut, so it shows how powerful it is, as he was down in, what, P8, P9 at one point, as he now is on the back of Posh Evans and maybe on for a net P2 here, as Brendan's gone on to the hards, J. Cole on to the medium. So let's see where they come out in relation to Posh Evans, and they've come out actually quite far behind, and Nicolo might actually go for a move here for the provisional race lead. To the inside goes the Haas, the Alfa Romeo on the outside, which turns to the inside for turn 2. And Posh Evans is just about able to hold on as they now head through turn 3, and you wouldn't expect a move going into turn 4. And yeah, Nicolo just has to sit behind.
I have to say, not surprised to see him up there. He did the win at the last pre-season race in Bahrain by 1 second. And even though he didn't have the best of qualifying, all that counts is the race. 20 points will be rewarded for the race winner. And it is so close in terms of points anyway. We want to make things as tight as we possibly can. So Nicola around 3 laps difference on tyres, but surely that doesn't mean he's not going to push. He is going to try and push as much as he can. And I think Jaco has been left vulnerable. He's started on pole and he's now lost 2 positions because of it. Not what he wants, but what I've noticed on this game, it doesn't take that long for the tyres to warm up, especially around Qatar due to the track temperatures being so high. As Fatality comes in to the pit as well. Everyone trying to use all the curb they can. It will be interesting to see the amount of warnings people have got as well. I'm almost certain a lot of people would have got 2 warnings. We'll see if Nicolo tries to close up on Posh Evans again. Look at that straight line speed that Posh Evans is going for. Do you think Posh Evans is running a lower downforce setup than Nicolo right now?
I would maybe think so, and I think also he's running less fuel in the car because he is actually getting the fuel warning light on the actual game HUD. So I think he is on the verge of being under a lap of fuel, well, actually under the remaining laps of fuel that we have left in the race. So he needs to start saving and lifting and coasting, because that could be crucial come near the end of the race. He runs out of fuel in the final lap at the final corner, say, and there's the likes of Nicolo, J. Cole all behind him. I mean, he's nearly getting past Larkin. Larkin here can help out J. Cole here with a little bit of a defensive mission. Sergio Perez-esque from Abu Dhabi 2021. So, Posh Evans behind Larkin. He will get a bit of a slipstream through here, but you can't make the overtake heading through the triple right-hander. It's just not possible, because heading through now the third part of the triple right-hander, Nicolo needs to use this to his advantage. Posh Evans will get DRS from this, but Larkin now can really hold him up in the final corner. He can just go super slow, and that will really, really help the likes of Nicolo and J. Cole. Saying that, J. Cole now, will he be able to make the move on the Haas in front of him? No ERS left on the Haas. He's got it flashing at the back. He is derating as now into turn 1. Posh Evans round the outside. J. Cole's got the move done. Larkin now has to sit behind Posh Evans. He might let his teammate go. Yes, he has. And that was actually some brilliant teamwork there from Larkin.
And that's got J. Cole even closer to Posh Evans, I have to say. Larkin and J. Cole, what they do well is they know how to work together as a team. They work together as a team in many leagues, including this one. They've been Constructors champions for many seasons now, including last season. They're looking to make another one in P1 this season. And this is going to be a very interesting fight, which is going to go on for many races to come, and who knows, there could be other people in the fray currently. And don't forget, we'll get the stops as well, because we don't have any TAS available this season currently, because it's not working. But the only ones that haven't made their mandatory stops, Larkin and Mats, are the only ones that haven't made their mandatory stop. Everyone else has stopped at least once, but bearing in mind some people have been on the hards for a ridiculous amount of laps, so we may see them pit one more. Well, they have to pit one more time, but they may have to go onto a tyre that necessarily they don't want to go on. Larkin comes into the pit, so it's really a battle between Posh Evans and J. Cole. J. Cole is going to try and go on the attack, but he's a little bit too further back. Same as Nicola Soro, so Larkin doing an effective Perez there definitely has worked wonders, but Canarmed trying to get past Brendan and Nicola in one corner. Can he do it? Wow! He almost did it then, but Nicola Soro trying to go to the outside and get second, well, a net P3 right now. So almost a double overtake for Canarmed. That turns to a net 4th place for Canarmed, which I have to say is still pretty good. This is a really great tier. They're all so tight. We don't know who's going to win this one as we're approaching half race distance, but wow. All of this, by the way, all this is squabbling. J. Cole has pulled 3.2 seconds clear of the rest of the field.
Yeah, I think that really did come from Larkin. Larkin let J. Cole through, managed to slot just back in front of Nicolo, and then just stopped through every corner. He was going so slowly, he was carrying such little minimum speed that it was like he stopped on track and Nicolo couldn't get by because it was just not possible. It was too tight for him to get by, and Larkin really did help out his teammate there. And you would think now, with the DRS and everything, J. Cole and Posh Evans really are the two favourites to win this race. Yes, we have another pit stop to come. Nicolo could do another amazing undercut, but at this current time, you would think Posh Evans and J. Cole are the favourites to win it. Oh.
Canarmed has got past it in the DRS zone, so he's up into 4th, so he's on for a net podium so far. That is amazing stuff for Canarmed. He can also be in a shot of winning this race, but bearing in mind with that 3-second time penalty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers have got time penalties. If there's a late safety car, that could ruin everybody's day who has got time penalties. And look at the gap that J. Cole is closing on Posh Evans. The amount of speed he's gaining on these corners, I have to say, is absolutely insane. So we've got to keep an eye on that as we're approaching our second stop. I'm a bit intrigued as to why Mats hasn't come in now for his first stop yet. You have to make 2 stops. Let's hope he hasn't forgotten. And if any ERT people in the chat, just remind Mats that he's got to do 2 stops, because I don't want him to get disqualified on the first race. No one has got disqualified yet. In the opening round of the season. We do not want to see someone in this tier get disqualified because they have forgotten to do a 2 stop. But with a 1 stop anyway, it's even difficult. So he's doing a great job to make those tyres last longer anyway. As J. Cole going towards the final corner, he's going to gain the speed he possibly can. You can see J. Cole's got better cornering speed, so that's helped him there. He's going to get the DRS. Is he going to take the lead to the right-hand side? Posh Evans covers him off a little bit, but doesn't fight too much because he knows that is going to be even more things happening towards the end of the race as Brendan gets past Nicolo and Canarmed. He's got past 2 cars. I have to say, there's some brave moves going on for some podium positions. I'm absolutely like that.
Yeah, these 3 drivers are just changing positions. They're just battling each other so much. I mean, they're losing time to Posh Evans and J. Cole up in front. But at the moment, I don't think they care. I reckon at the moment, they're just focusing on getting the podium, making sure they're the car in front, and trying to pull away as much as possible, and maybe just try and make some inroads on Posh Evans up in front. I mean, Brendan's actually gained about nearly half a second on Posh Evans through this middle sector. It seems that those hard tyres for Brendan really are starting to work. He's nearly dropped Nicolo as well, about 9/10 between the pairs. So DRS might be no longer the question for Nicolo. It might just be defending from Canard. But Posh Evans, you would think, now going to be out in trying to get past J. Cole up in front. As Matt's, yes, he's taking this long. I mean, if he has forgotten, it'll be a bit of a silly mistake.
Maybe too soft stint.
I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking maybe a double soft. But that could really affect him because he's got a 13-second gap to Posh Evans. And he's got to make one stop. And then he's got to make another. So he'll be quite far behind Posh Evans. And if Posh Evans goes onto the softs, then Max could be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the end of the race. But we're just going to have to wait and see what he does. And we'll see how this race pans out, because J. Cole and Posh Evans could be scrapping so much that the likes of Brendan, Max could catch up in the end and maybe make the moves for the win.
And bearing in mind, Brendan was in P2 last week. He got promoted to P1 because there was one driver that quit. And I have to say, due to the fact that he got promoted, he's doing a fantastic job to even keep up with J. Cole Evans in front. So maybe the right decision was made by myself, Nick, and Lukey to get him up into P1. But actually, Brendan actually volunteered. He was like, who wants to go up to P1? And Brendan said yes, and I think he definitely made the right decision. Max is in. If he doesn't go on soft, then I don't think that he's timed this absolutely right. So here he comes then. He may do a longer medium stint and then soft to the end. So that's what he's going to do. I'm guessing he doesn't trust the drop-off about the softs. He knows that there could be a late safety car. J. Cole did not able to get past Posh Evans that lap, but he knows that he's going to time it well, and we'll see what he can do currently as Lukey has got the undercut on Matt. So him staying out a little bit longer has not helped him a little bit, but it has helped him keep ahead of some other drivers. I'm interested about the strategy for the two Red Bulls, actually. Carmentis and Casper. They're fighting away, fighting with Matt now and Nick behind. I'm surprised that it's not dropping off quickly as it should. The Red Bulls are not doing too bad on these softs, where you can see Casper's dropping off a little bit to his teammate. So fair play to them. They're better of managing tyres than I am on the soft, let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, Casper's done really well to manage his softs this long, and then for them not to drop off too much, because they really do hit a cliff, and then they've basically just got no pace. You just start falling down through the field. It's basically like you're driving with no tyres on the car. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in shortly, put on a set of mediums. He could maybe, he could make those to the end. So it could be a really wise strategy choice for Casper to come in maybe next lap, the lap after, bolt on a set of mediums as Lukey now comes into the pit lane. He's going to try an undercut here. I wouldn't be surprised if he bolts on another. Actually, what did he start on? I think he also started on the soft, so he can bolt on another set of mediums.
Ooh.
Posh Evans and J. Cole now battling into turn 2. Posh Evans to the inside. J. Cole trying to fight it. He picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Posh Evans is just able to get in front. J. Cole now with the penalty. I think that was just him trying to keep his nose in it, and it did not work out. And Posh Evans now takes the lead, and an effective 3-second lead over J. Cole.
Yes, if you do get 3 warnings, you do get a time penalty, and that's what J. Cole has done, unfortunately, which is like what it is in real life. Apart from in real life, you get a black and white flag after your 3rd warning, and then you get a penalty on your 4th warning. So, yeah, a bit confusing, but that's given, I think, a bit of breathing space for Brendan. He's got to find, I think, 3 attempts in order to get 2nd from J. Cole. But he's going to be absolutely swamped by Nicolo and Callum as well, Canarmed, who is in 4th and 5th spot currently. And Matt's even going to catch up too. So a lot of drivers could be back in this as well. Fair play to the drivers who haven't got any penalties, by the way. It's so hard not to get penalties. Now we've got our first pit stops for our 2 stops. Brendan and Callum are in the pit lane. And they're probably going to go on to a final set of the medium tyres, but I won't be surprised if they go on the softs. Here comes J-Car once again to the outside, which becomes the inside. J-Car takes the lead. He's got to pull that 3-second gap, though, because otherwise he will lose out on the win of this race. But fair play battle to them as Porsche Evans almost dived up to the inside there of that corner, but couldn't quite do it. So J-Car doing all he can to protect his lead. More pit stops from the likes of Brendan. Casper as well, wait seat. Canarmed is on a set of softs, so is Casper. So they're going to try and get those softs to the end. Well, we saw Casper get the softs to this point, so I'm not surprised that he's getting softs from then to the end anyway. But for other people, we'll see how their tyres manage as well. I'm almost certain Jayco and Posh will have to come in very soon. I think obviously Jayco had to cover off Posh at an earlier stint. But I wonder if both of them will come in at exactly the same time now.
Yeah, I would think maybe they would come in at the same time. I reckon J. Cole will try to come in earlier, or Posh Evans will. J. Cole actually looked like he was going to carry on, but they both come into the pit lane now. Will Nicolo follow him in?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Colin has actually jumped Brendan, and he's done his 2 stops. He is on the hard tyre, so he will be a bit slower than the drivers who have just boxed. But if this undercut works, he could come out in a very good position here, and maybe just behind J. Cole and Posh Evans. They both go onto a set of the soft compound tyres. I think everyone's just going to go on the softs from here on in. Nick crossing the line with Konzo behind him. They will take 2nd and 3rd. Matt stays out. He has got 3 lap old mediums, of course, so he's probably going to wait until the end to put on a set of softs. Brendan and Canarmed now, we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Canarmed down the inside, Brendan round the outside, nearly contact, and Canarmed just able to get ahead. And that is 7th place for him. He was on the softs, of course, so he will be quicker and have a bit more grip through the braking zones. But now, look at Posh Evans. He's dropped 1.2 to J. Cole on the exit of the pit lane here. So J. Cole, if he's able to keep up his early stint pace like he has done so far, he could be in a real good shout to pulling out that 3-second gap.
Yes, but bearing in mind the drop-off can be very quick around it, and maybe Larkin can use pretty much his defensive tactics to hold the rest of the field to make sure J. Cole doesn't lose any more positions. And he's done it before. He's done it on the first stint, so he's probably going to try and do it on the second stint as well. But we know Canarmed, we know he's very racy, so if I was him, I would try and get past him now, because otherwise he's going to be in a spot of bother later on in this race. Past the final part of the triple right-hander as he goes down the hill into the penultimate corner. And surely Canarmed is going to go for the lunge here to the inside of turn 15 and 16, past the Ferris wheel, heading towards the Qatar Airways sign. And surely it's going to be a move that he's looking for. Here comes, I think, Brendan right in the middle of this, and Larkin trying to defend. We got Colin in there as well. Canarmed has got past Brendan. What about Larkin? Larkin's going to try his best to hold up Nicolo, so J. Cole doesn't have any other deficit thus far. Posh Evans has caught up back to J. Cole now. 0.5 of a second is the gap. So at the moment, as it stands, due to J. Cole's time penalty, Posh Evans will be winning this race as Colin gets past Larkin up into a net P6. Oh no, Colin's got a penalty. Never mind.
That is probably heartbreak there for Colin, because he's in a very good position on his hard tyres, because once these softs drop off around about 5-6 laps into the stint, he would in a brilliant position to at least catch up to Nicolo, maybe Canarmed as well. So yeah, he's very, very unlucky there for Colin, but Canarmed now going to be leading this train of Brendan and Nicolo, so we're just going to have to wait and see if anything will happen down the main straight, like it has with these 3 throughout nearly the entire of the second stint. And now we're on to the third stint. It's pretty much the same. Again, Posh Evans ahead. Will he get past J. Cole again? Posh Evans doesn't have enough fuel to the end of the race at the moment, so he really needs to start lifting and coasting, saving this DRS, and just not push as much, but he got the fastest lap, and he's pulled to the inside. Push Evans to the inside. J. Cole with the cut under, and he's got the move done. J. Cole manages to defend the provisional P1. Matt stays out in the lead. He needs to come in shortly for a fresh set of softs, probably, you would think, and make sure he gets the second stop done, but it doesn't look like he's coming in just yet.
He's going to hope for a late safety car, but if it's based on what we saw in the other tiers, I don't think we're going to get one. So he's going to probably pit around lap 25 for a set of the soft compounded tyres. He'll probably come in around about where Lukey and Boom are at the moment on track. Maybe even Casper too, as a few people are dropping out on these soft tyres. Let's look at any stops being made. Matt is the only driver inside the top 10, so have not done his 2-stop yet. Same with Delta Hunter. Everyone else has done 2 stops, so they could get to the end if they want to. So we'll keep an eye on this battle as it continues. Make sure you do leave us a follow on this Twitch channel and let us know in the chat who you think is going to be winning this race. Bearing in mind, we saw towards the end of the Qatar race in 2021, Bottas getting an issue with tyres. Russell and Latifi had punches later on in the race. Alonso almost had a puncture, and we saw Perez hunting for the podium with Alonso. And then we saw someone dominating the race, which was Lewis Hamilton. We're not seeing someone dominate the race here. We're seeing an actual scrap for the race victory, which I have to say is amazing for this tier. I think we could see the best P1 tier that we've seen in an absolute long shot. And a big massive shout out to all the drivers that have shown up here today. And look at the gap Posh Evans is gaining right now. It's absolutely amazing. This could work out well for the constructors because we both got 2 Alfa Romeos in the top half. They could be leading this. And don't forget, Brendan has got no penalties either. So Brendan could be on course for a podium. Same with Nicolo as well. Just let you'll know your thoughts in chat. And someone saying in the chat, Brendan could be in a good position in the final 2 laps. I agree, as long as he doesn't get caught up in this fight and closes in unarmed, then he could be in with a good shot. Matt is in, by the way. Matt is in for his final stop of the race.
Matt's, at least we know now that he wasn't going for the 1-stop and remembered the 2-stop. I've just been looking at Posh Evans's dash on his steering wheel, and it says that he's a whole lap down on the fuel. So,
oh no! Is he on minus?
Yes, minus 0.7. No, 1.07, sorry.
That is huge. He's going to run out on lap 28. He's going to run out on lap 28. You can tell. I did say earlier on, running out of fuel could be huge. Hopefully J. Cole has got someone listening into the stream telling him that he's running out of fuel. There's an off. There's Faust that's had a moment in one of the triple right-handers, and that is absolutely heartbreaking for him. Delta goes on for his final stop, so that means every single driver has completed 2 stops in this race, with Faust unfortunately getting in a 3rd. And that means with the way this is going, if Brendan can find about 9/10 of a second, Brendan could go on to win this race, and he wasn't even in this tier a week ago. That could be a really great storyline. Someone who we would be expecting to be in P2 could go on to take the win in P1. I mean, I really do hope Posh Evans saves for his life, but that means he's going to compromise on pace on J. Cole. I think he's already made his bed, unfortunately. He has to lie in it. That's going to breathe a sigh of relief for J. Cole. I think Posh Evans could go out of the points there.
Yeah, I think he's made up his mind. It says now 1.18 over on the fuel load. He's going to run out within the next 2.8 laps. So it's just going to be disaster for Posh Evans if this is correct on his dash. And I mean, Mats went onto the mediums. I don't get why he went onto the didn't go onto the softs for a last dash at the moment. But Larkin now picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's unfortunate for him. Down in 16th, we have a battle between Bumpai and Casper. This is all over P9. Of course, the 2 people in the last points playing positions are now scrapping over P9 and
it's
10.
top 12
so here we go.
For the points.
Oh, it's P12. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. That's my fault.
It's your first race commentating. You're excused. It's fine.
Okay, but, well, fatalities in the last points paying position. The last place in the top 10 they are scrapping for at the moment. But Casper, I think, has won out on that one. Bumpire's mediums, I don't think, are going to be in good shape at the moment. And apparently he's also down on fuel, as Casper now picks up another 3-second time penalty. So two drivers in this field down on fuel at the moment.
I think...
Actually, no, Brendan's down on fuel.
Oh no, Brendan's down on fuel too. That is huge. How much?
No.
How much?
It's only by a little bit, 0.11.
So he has to lift and coast. He has to lift and coast. If he lifts and coasts, but he's going to lose time on Jaco. He's gone like 5 seconds down on Jaco. So no matter what now, Jaco's going to be in P2 at best. Even win this race. Nicolo gets past into third. He's going to chase down for the win of this race as well. Please, I hope Nicolo is not running out on fuel either. Oh, he's got plenty. He's got 2 laps extra fuel. So he's fine.
Canard is also down.
Canard is also down. He's at minus 0.06. So he's got a lift and coast as well. If you're wondering how we're seeing it, we could just about see it on the dash. So...
Yep.
With our camera
about
angle.
seeing that on the dash, and this could invite Mats in. Actually, he could maybe be on for a podium here if Posh Evans does run out of fuel.
Yeah, and maybe Colin as well could be on for a good result. Let's see what his fuel's like. He's cutting it fine at the moment, Colin, so he may run out of fuel too. As I think it's going to be inevitable for some of these drivers. Let's hope it's not true. And Posh Evans has plenty of fuel and he can win the race anyway. And let's just hope it's a spectator glitch. But Jaco is catching up on Posh Evans now quite quickly. Hopefully this isn't the sign of things to come. But Jaco is going to try and get the win on track. They've been fighting all race long and they've been absolutely fantastic. And what's let Jaco down was a time penalty. But he doesn't care at the moment. He is going to fight with every fibre right now as Brendan gets past Nicola and Canard. Oh, there was almost a bit of contact, a bit of lag spike from one of the drivers, and that's invite Mats into the mix now.
Yeah, that's nice for Matt to just try and gain on these cars and maybe get through. Posh Evans, I have a feeling this might be a spectator glitch. He's on 0.2. He's cutting it fine, but usually when you get to about 0.4...
I think it's is it the +1 or minus? I hope it's plus. Please say it's plus.
It does say minus. He's hit 0.0. Usually he's going into low fuel mode. No, he has!
He's run out of fuel!
He's into low fuel mode!
Oh no! It's not a spectator glitch. It's minus 1.29.
Oh, Posh Evans has really ruined his race there by just not listening to the fuel and saving it. But Brendan and Canard are still in trouble here. They could run out of fuel on the way to the line next time around. We're just going to have to wait and see, as J. Cole, you would think, certainly in to win this one. Colin up into P6. Matt's here to the inside of Canard as they head down into turn 1. He's got no battery left to fight with, though, as actually... Oh, Nicolo and Brendan have collided. They've both nearly gone round. Brendan's gone round though. Nicolo nearly dropped it as well, as that's dropped Brendan down to 6th. That might have actually burnt a bit more fuel as well, because he might have put the throttle down to try save the car, as that's actually allowed Max to try and get up into P2 on track, and he's actually down a bit on fuel as well. All these drivers are starting to nearly run out of fuel here, as
round the outside goes Max.
Just be in charge. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Those mediums. He's played the card perfectly on those mediums, and he will get P2 in this race if he's just able to keep the car with enough fuel in it. I think Canard just isn't going to make it to the line with enough. We're just going to have to wait and see for him.
Posh Evans 10-second time penalty. That is harsh, but we're going to ride on board with the man who has been praying his lucky stars that something will go wrong to Porsche Evans, and it did. Porsche Evans has run out of fuel. The Drivers' Champion from last season starts like he means to go on.
Oh, Kanam's
wins. He wins in Qatar. Matt's in second. Nicolo in third. Kanam just about makes it. No, he doesn't. Colin gets fourth.
No.
Colin gets fourth. Kanam fifth. Brendan's out the race. Lukey comes across the line in sixth place, and Nick recovers nicely to sixth. Oh, he's sixth now, yeah, because Lukey drops to a penalty. Fatality gets 8, Konzo 9th, Casper in 10th, Boom in 11th, no, Larkin in 11th. There's a lot of people dropping position. Oh, Boom's run out of fuel, I think.
Yeah, Boompire ran out of fuel to the line. Luckily, he gets the last points paying position due to penalties, so he's lucky in that aspect, but a lot of these drivers just struggling with their fuel, and Car Mentalist, he was up in the top 10 at one point, top 5, and he's finished P16 in this race, so it's not gone to plan for him either, but a lot of these drivers struggling with their fuel, and it's not paid off.
Porsche Evans is about to cross the line. I'm gutted for him. I think if he put the right amount of fuel in, he would have won this race. He would have won this race comfortably as well due to J. Cole's penalty. But it's J. Cole that took the win. 20 points to his name. A driver who thought that it's going to be challenging for him to defend his crown, but after tonight's race, you know, with the England flag, he's going to celebrate tonight with his head held high, and surely he's got the championship in his sights now as we run through your order. Some good recovery drives, actually. J. Cole wins from pole, and if you think it was a lights to flag victory, it definitely wasn't. Matt, with the strategy, I have to say, he avoided all the carnage, slots himself into P2. Nicolo could have got the win there, but he was quite unlucky, but surely he can get the win next week. Colin, from 14th to 4th, he played the fuel strategy perfectly. I think he had 0.01 across the line, I think. And he calculated his fuel nicely. So that was great. Kanam's in 5th. So we got Nick, good recovery to 6th. Lukey in 7th. Fatality 8th. Kondo with a good recovery from 18th to 9th. And Casper rounds up your top 10. Then we got Larkin and Boom, your final points paying positions. Wait, see Delta, Carmentalist, Axelot, Posh Evans, Brendan, and then Faust. And I think due to the fact that Brendan and Faust are classified, we have no retirements. So there we go. Loads of great results here today, and a really great race to kick off One Hub Racing, and a great race for you to start off your One Hub Racing commentary career. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a very entertaining race. I mean, it had moves all over the field. I mean, you didn't know where to look at some points, and it had the drama as well of pretty much everyone running out of fuel near the end. So, it was a very entertaining one.
And we've got to pick our 2 drivers of the day and think of a question as well to ask for the Driver of the Day press conference. I'm going to let you go first, since you are the newest commentator to One Hub Racing. So who is your driver of the day? We've got to pick a different one, by the way. And what would you like to ask the driver?
I will go for Maps, and what I want to ask him is, what was the actual, plan behind that strategy, really?
That is a good question. Very good question. And I have to... Oh, there's so much choice. Colin with that recovery drive, playing that fuel perfectly, but I'm going to have to give it to the race winner. Put it on pole at the very last minute. He played his fuel strategy perfectly and had a really nice fight with Posh Evans. And my question for him is, you had a really good fight with Posh Evans, but it must have been a bittersweet moment, you winning there. But tell us, how does it feel to get your championship defence right on track? So that is my question for J. Cole. And, the drivers will be able to vote on Discord, and then we will find out who is our driver of the day for P1. Make sure you check out our sponsors as well. Next Level Racing, that are providing quite a lot of prices. I need to get the sponsors right up on screen actually as well. But whilst I do that, any final thoughts going to next week? We've got obviously Imola coming up next week. Another demanding track for the drivers. I think it's going to be quite an interesting race.
Yeah, I mean, strategy might not play as much, especially fuel. That won't really play as much of a role in that race. But I mean, it's going to be an exciting one around such a historic circuit. So yeah, I think we are going to be in for an entertaining one and a lot more overtaking opportunities for the drivers to make some moves.
Yeah, so let's go through our sponsors, and I'm not going to go through the images because it'll take a long time. So I want thank you to our sponsor, Next Level Racing, sponsoring the league by providing the following prizes: an NLR FGT Elite Light Wheel Plate Edition and ESL 1 seat to one of our champions. Second or third place drivers in the Tiers Championship could win a Next Level Racing GT Elite Light Wheel Plate Edition and ERS2, and every driver will have a chance to win a Next Level Racing 2.0 wheel stand. This is massive shout out to Pure Sim Gear, who sponsor the league by providing their gloves or socks to the drivers who have the most combined fastest lap and poles. Also, shout out to Aztec Sim Sport, sponsoring the league by providing a multitude of prizes. The driver with the shortest combined qualifying time with a set of Invictus Sim Racing boots. The Mystery Sims box sponsors the league by providing one of their mystery shirt boxes to the winner of One Hub Racing's driver rankings for season 23. Our partners, Vespa Team, partner with Vespa Team, who sponsors our official apparel. Elite Racing Team, who partners the ERT Go and Gets Tough Award and League trophies, and you can win a Aztec Sim Sport t-shirt and cap if you win that. And also to our partners SimGrid, powered by SimGrid, run our seasons through their community and platform. Thank you very much for joining. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at OneHub Racing. Give us a follow as well on Twitter. I'm at JessGames95. And what is your Twitter, Steve, if you please?
It'll be at MaxRing18.
There you go. So give him a follow. His first commentary with OneHub Racing, and to be honest, he's done a great job. Looking forward to joining me next week. So for myself and Steve, we're going to end it there. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week, same time, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Goodbye.